here at the from before. Welcome if you're just joining now. If you have been already on, I've been having a conversation with a bunch of the people who are here on Zoom. I'm going to show all those people. Hold on. Showing the people mode. There we are. Hi, people. Let's give a quick little wave. A lot of people who have joined. We were talking before. And if you want to join in on one of these Zoom rooms, you're welcome to join. You can get the link if you go to rotb.org. It's the same link every week, and you're welcome to be here with us. Let's get rid of the clock. Get rid of the time. Uh-oh. Well, I thank you guys for that. It was a great conversation we were just having about self-care and how to take care of yourself, the need to take care of others, to be loving and kind, and then how to know at what point we're no longer taking care of ourselves. I have a quote that I want to put up on the screen this morning just to start us off with. And okay, please hold. This is a quote from the writer Robert Brault, and I've made it a little bit too small. While I'm fixing the quote, and I'll do that, I'll tell you, I've been working hard on my book, and in putting my book together, I've been having to get permission for lots of quotes and words, and from the estate of Maya Angelou in order to have permission to put her poem in the book. And I got in touch with the author Robert Brault, and what I thought was I was getting in touch with his people. I got in touch with him because he's that guy, and he had this beautiful quote that I always loved. I thought we'd start with this today. Today I bent the truth to be kind, and I have no regrets, for I am far more certain as to what is kind than what is true.
I love that quote.
Meg, would you read it for us so we hear it in another voice as well?
Sure. Give me a second here to get you. Yesterday, I meant the truth to be kind, and I have no regrets, for I am far more certain as to what is kind than what is true.
Right? Yesterday I bent the truth to be kind, and I have no regrets, for I am far more certain as to what is kind than what is true. I think your homework, or our homework, or what we should do from this week to next week can be laid out right there. If you had to prioritize one of the two, which one should you prioritize?
Kindness.
Kindness. Why? Why?
Because it matters more.
It's a heart thing.
Because it matters more, because it's a heart thing? Yeah. I bent the truth to be kind. Hey, what do you think about my new sweater? Doesn't matter if you like it or not.
You look great in it.
Lovely.
It's nice.
Exactly.
I can't see it.
See?
It's you. What can you say? It's you.
It doesn't matter if you like it or not. You know what the kind thing to do is? Had I planned this ahead of time, I would have worn a sweater that was more questionable.
It's a nice sweater.
Thank you. Bend the truth to be kind, because it's easier to know. I'm far more certain as to what is kind than what is true. Okay.
It's going to be harder for some people than others. I mean, for some people, I think I've met folks who who value truthfulness above all else. That's part of their core values. That's one of their principles.
Yes.
But for me, it's more relational. Relational is more of a core value. So I think that this is harder practice for some to do than others. Just wanting to name that.
Hugh, I'm going to say if it's harder for you to be kind than be true, prioritize this even more. There's no true. That's that part. I'm far more certain as to what is kind than what is true. What is true is always subjective. I guess so. What is kind? Afia, speak to us.
Hi everyone, I'm driving, sorry. Um, that makes me think about the ways that we talk about truth. Like we'll say like, oh, that's an ugly truth, or the truth is brutal. And so there's a way that we can like have competing narratives in our minds about truth also being kind, or finding a way to tell the truth and be kind at the same time. So I mean, I was thinking something similar, Hugh, before you said that, and then my mind went to like, oh, well, why would I think that I can't tell the truth and be kind if for me truth is the priority? So anyway, yeah, it just seems like an interesting exercise. Maybe level 3 or 4 is figuring out how to stick to the truth as the core value and still be kind, because the truth doesn't have to be me.
Right. How can we be both truthful and kind? And if we had to lean on one, let's go for truthful. I mean, kind. Oops. John.
Just reflecting on what Hugh shared earlier, it seems to me that those who are really all about the truth, and that's primary, they require quite a bit less in the way of sabbatical time than you do, Hugh.
I'm not quite sure I understood that.
Well, Hugh talked about when he gets to the point where he has to take time for himself. He has to disconnect a little bit. That's a sabbatical. It's a sabbatical time that he as a minister can access as needed. The people who have truth as the utmost thing seldom have any need for a sabbatical.
I think they do actually have a need for
Well,
a sabbatical, but I
they don't
understand what
think they
you're
do.
saying. They don't think they do. We're going to fight on truth at all costs. Go ahead, Alex.
You know, I think that you can, you know, I for myself, I'm a very truthful person, and I believe that it is possible much of the time to be truthful and kind. You know, let's go back to your sweater example for a moment.
Yeah.
Let's say that you did remember to put on the ugly ass sweater. You know, I could say to you, wow, Rabbi, that sweater looks really warm, right? You know, so that's still kind and it's truthful.
Yeah.
And I'm just completely avoiding the, oh my God, that's the most butt ugly thing I've ever seen.
Correct.
Well, you know, you keep that to yourself and always remember that truth that is real never hurts the heart.
Oh, wait. Jack, drop that line again. That sounded quite brilliant. Say that again.
Truth that is real never hurts the heart.
Truth that is real never hurts the heart. Meg,
sure.
you're making like a I don't want to say what face you're making, but
That's being kind, Rabbi. I appreciate that.
that
I'm
truth
not-
that is real never hurts the heart. I like the poetry of it. Talk to me. Go ahead, Meg.
I'm not sure that I think that's true.
Stop.
Because I can think of truths that somebody could tell me that are true that would hurt my feelings or my heart.
Okay.
That's being unkind.
Those are unkind.
Well, I don't know that it's really being unkind.
No.
Sometimes I need to know that I overstepped a boundary.
Correct.
Oh, but that is a kind thing to tell you.
Yes, I think it is.
It's not easy. Oh, but
Yeah.
oh, I see what you're saying. So if I say, "Hey, Meg, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you kind of crossed over a boundary there," that's me being kind, and it's still gonna hurt your heart some. All right,
But it's also a truth.
I gotcha. I think we're. Congratulations, gang! We found an exception. But that doesn't
Well,
mean.
one of my things with this whole thing on truth is my truth is different than yours.
99% of our truths, Meg, are alike.
I'll go to 90, but I won't go to 99.
That's kind.
I'll give you 90. I'm fine with it.
But I think that's important, particularly when you're talking with people who are not on the same, shall we say, liberal conservative wavelength that you are.
And I agree, and I think, Meg, what you're pointing out, and it's from that Xavier Amador book, is to really undergird the number of times that we agree with each other. In our world we tend to just focus on here's where our differences are, and that doesn't build relationship. And so if you want 90% of agreement, I'm willing to meet you at 90% of agreements just so that we have more to agree on. Okay, I got a flurry of a few hands that are up there. Ray and then Ron and then Joe.
Well, for me, truth being truth or being kind, do you say someone who is your friend, who is an alcoholic and has all the things, hides the booze, all that kind of stuff? Well, no, you don't have a problem, my friend. It's just that you like to drink a little. Instead of saying, hey, buddy, you're an alcoholic, and if you don't get some help, you're going to die.
Right.
I mean, that's rough, but it's the truth. But there's also a certain amount of kindness and love there. If you didn't care, you wouldn't say a damn thing.
Yes, Ray. Yes. We have to be kind, and with diseases, it becomes all the more complicated. Kind. Go ahead, Ron. Thank you, Ray.
All this talk of truth brings me back to something that I think Meg said. We may disagree. Truth. Rather than talking about truth as truth, we can say that we are convinced that something is true, rather than stating it as an absolute.
That it is true or isn't true, that we are convinced.
Yes, it's not mathematics is
okay. It's a nice that widens the road.
Okay, and so just correspondingly, it just flashed on me after I'd raised my hand to speak and share that was Quakers do not talk about conversion. They talk about convincement, becoming convinced of the truth. And that way we give plenty of latitude for other people to perceive the truth differently than us.
Thank you, Ron. Joe, did you have something you were wanting to say? I lost track.
Yeah, I just want to throw into this conversation, and you've said this before, actually. There's a difference in things that are true. There's a difference in things that are truth.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can do both with kindness.
Yes.
And I just will say to everyone that, and I'm going to dovetail off of what Ray said, is that I'm married to a recovering alcoholic. And we go through ups and downs and hills and valleys. And when he's in a space where the alcoholism is more what his behavior and thoughts are, then I have to say, this is what I see as true. This is what I feel is truth, because then I am not doing self-care for myself. and I am letting the disease run our household, and neither one of us win.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there's a black and white answer to this ever.
Well,
and I see Meg shaking her head very vehemently. So thank you, Meg.
that's the 90% of things Meg and I agree on right there.
Right.
Go ahead, Harold, Connie, and then Paula. Go ahead.
I'm having a little trouble disassociating facts and truth.
Okay.
The sun comes up in the east, and you can say whatever you want. The sun comes up in the east, that's a fact. And a lot of this business that's going on now is what I think is truth. The facts won't support. I cite vaccinations. The numbers for vaccinations say they work at 90% or whatever the number is. And a lot of people say, oh, no, they don't work. I'm not doing that. I don't believe that all the numbers are a lie. I'm having trouble separating truth from fact. Yeah. And that line to me is pretty important, because if you believe in something that is factually not true, you're convincing a lot of other people that the facts aren't true.
It's
and
dangerous.
That bothers.
Yeah. That can be very dangerous. I was just reading a book called How Minds Change. I can't remember the author's name right now. Dave Ramsey. Not David Ramsey's, but it's close to that. But he talks about he talks about how do people remain flat earthers? How do people get convinced out of that 9/11 was an inside job? And he talks about what you're saying about how mistruth leads to mistruth, and you have more people believing a mistruth, and it grows and it grows and it grows. What he does say a solution to it is, and this goes back to what a little bit of where Meg and I were, is that how do you convince somebody out of their false beliefs? And the answer is by listening to them. By open-eared, absolute listening, not trying to convince, but listening. Paula, and then we're going to move on to a different topic. Paula, you had one more thing to say?
Well, I just keep thinking back to taking care of my mother.
Yeah.
More often than not, I would have to not tell her the truth, because telling her the truth would upset her to a point that it was not good for her.
Yeah.
And it was not good for me. She never knew that my older sister had breast cancer. To tell her that would have destroyed her, because we've lost several members of our family to breast cancer. And it was difficult. And my sister did not want my mother to know.
Yeah. So you don't tell
and
her.
There comes a point where you have to decide, is the truth worth the other person knowing?
It's a beautiful question, and it doesn't have a good, beautiful answer. And I'm sure it left you with a lot of pain, Paula. Thank you for being willing to share that with us. Yeah. I think we could all take a page from Paula's book right there. I don't know how many of you heard her. It was just a beautiful exhale. What do you say we all just take a minute? This is a service anyhow, so I think a breathing exercise is not too far off from what we do. Take a breath in, add a little more air, and let all that out. I feel pontificate-y for a moment, so I'm going to go along with that. Folks, life is really fucking hard. It's really hard. Life is hard. It's stress after stress after stress after stress. Small stress, small stress, small stress, big stress. Let's take a moment to just rest. Let the chair that you're sitting in hold you. Even if you're driving at the time. Yeah. So, I have a poem. We're going to go in a very different direction than we normally do. There's a poem called Late Fragment by Raymond Carver. Just quick show of hands. How many of you ever heard of this poem before? Late Fragment. Okay, so it's new for most of us. I'm going to read it. It says, And did you get what you wanted from this life even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. And I would like to ask for people, 5 people actually, who have not said anything on mic today. Well, I've not said anything that was intended to be on mic today. And I would love to invite your voice to come in to read this so that we hear this in different voices.
I could do it.
Please, Rita. Thank you so much.
And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth.
Thank you for reading that, Rita. Louise, love to hear your voice in it too. Would you?
Thank you. Oh, I
Hold on.
missed it. It's long from, oh, there it is.
It's also in the chat.
Okay. And did you get what you wanted? I'm sorry. And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth.
Thank you, Louise. Ruth, and then Betsy.
And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth.
Thank you, Ruth. I know I saw somebody else's hand, and there was Betsy.
Yes. And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth.
Now take one more from somebody who hasn't had their voice in. And you don't have to. No hard pressure.
Emily has raised her hand.
Oh, go ahead, Emily. I didn't see. Thank you, Hugh.
And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth.
Before we look at the poem, wasn't it amazing to hear the different voices and how it changed?
Very true.
That's something, as an actress, that is something from a play, could be. And there are so many ways to say it, to introduce a character. It was beautiful, really. And each interpretation to me was also just very revealing. I love, who's this guy again?
Raymond Carver,
Wow.
poet. I also noticed, and folks, this is the kind of thing, if you're not used to noticing, I'll ask you to start sharpening that muscle so that that muscle gets stronger. When I asked for voices that we hadn't heard from before, I noticed that all of a sudden we had more of the female identified voices coming up. Just to notice if you have a male identified voice, that maybe we keep those a little quieter in the next week so we have more of the other voices that can teach us and we can hear things in different voices. Okay, let's looking at this quote. We're going to have an assignment to do, and you're going to have about 5 minutes to do it. There are 30 words in this poem. I know that because I counted them, but then I forgot, and then I kind of just remembered it was 30 words. So let's just pretend it's 30 words. I want you to answer the questions in this poem in 30 words or less, or fewer. Let me be grammatically stingent there. 30 words or fewer to answer this poem. What did you get? And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. So you can just start with the poem as written and have your own answer, instead of at the end, to call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. What words, and you get up to 30, do you want? And I'm going to take some time. We're going to take some moments for us to consider, and we'll break into small groups, and you don't have to share your answers with others, but you're welcome to. I'm going to just stall a little bit longer as I grab a pen and a paper, and I'm going to write down my answers. Did you get what you wanted? Even so. What did you want? I'm going to give us another 2 minutes, and then we're going to break into small groups where you can but do not need to share with others what you wrote. You got just about a minute to go. Alex, if you would prepare us into rooms of 4. We're going to go into rooms, and please share your responses with each other. And then we're going to come back here. We're going to take 4 minutes, and we'll have groups of 4, so you each have about a minute to do it. And if you don't want to join, you just stay here. You'll stay here in this main space with me. That looks like a large group of... Alex, are they moving?
They are moving, yes.
Oh, there it goes. They all got frozen there for a second.
Yeah, so we have group sizes of 4 to 5.
That's great.
This is the number of people that we have this morning. And not everyone.
Yeah. I see a bunch of froze people are they're in hyperspace right now. And it's moving down. If you're watching this on replay, I'm sorry about that. All right, looks like we got just Chad and Lisa and Jean and Candace and Afia and Roberta and Ruth and me and Alex. Does somebody want to share? I mean, if you wanted to, please feel free. Ruth, you're hardly shy.
Here I am, Rabbi.
You're not shy.
No, I'm not shy. I've been thinking a lot about this topic since I'm in probably the last decade of my life. And so what I have found is that I'm satisfied, more than satisfied, that I have family and my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren, and that I have been recognized for the advocacy work that I do, which has been very soul satisfying to me, because when you do advocacy work, you seldom get feedback as to what your input. And I've had enough incidents where people have said to me, "Oh, thank you. You did such and so for me." Only a handful, but enough to make me feel that it's worth doing.
I love it. I love it. So the answer to this poem is yes, Ruth, you have. Did what you want to call yourself beloved. Lovely. Roberta, you don't need to share, but you're here, so that was a shake for a no. That's all good. Afia, you're driving, so I don't know what you're...
Sorry, yeah, unavailable.
I'm glad you're there. Chad and Lisa, I'm assuming if you wanted to be seen, you would be seen. Jean and Candace, it's all right. Alex, you have anything you want to share on this quote?
Yeah, I have not yet. And my wish is to make a lasting and indelible mark on the world, which I have not yet achieved.
Is there a size for indelible marks?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if you're an author and 100 years after you're dead, your books are still published. That's indelible, right?
Right. Okay.
Or if you search for somebody's name on Wikipedia, and they're long gone and they're still there. So
Okay. Indelible.
Not necessarily famous, just indelible.
Okay. I got this is what I wrote in response to that, and I said I left the first parts of the poem alike. Did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? And I wrote a lot what was already there. I just expanded on it. I wrote to feel beloved, connected, beloved without shame, beloved. I really like the word beloved. Ruth, I'll tell you because you won't judge me too harshly, but I actually got a tattoo of the word beloved on my leg.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
On the other hand, given your performance when you got the award, I shouldn't be surprised.
Don't be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, and what's fun is I don't always remember that I have it there because I never thought I would have a tattoo, and then I look and I go, "Oh, look at that. What a surprise."
If it gives you pleasure.
It delights me, absolutely delights me to know. So looks like people are coming back. I just like that poem. Did you get what you want? And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel beloved on the earth. And here come the people's back. Michael, Carol, how'd your groups go? On a 1 to 10?
Good. I left too soon. I left in the middle of someone talking, so I missed the end.
Surprise ending. I think there's a plot twist.
I'll wait till everybody gets back before I answer.
Good.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey, Jack, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, there's Murph.
It's Murph's tale.
Oh.
He has a good story.
Good job, Murph.
Oh.
Alex, I think that's all of the rooms are back.
Yeah, everybody's back.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And I'd love to hear, did somebody's foundations get shaken? Something, was there an epiphany to be had? Even a small one? Something that you feel like sharing out with the larger group?
We got thinking about the phrase "even so" and kind of got in the weeds there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I saw it as a dialogue, and the answer could be I did or I did not, or it could be I don't know.
Yeah, I think
so that would really change where you're at right now.
I agree with you, Michael. I thought the phrase "even so" is so curious. It really does add something into it.
Yes,
yeah, even so what?
Go ahead, Betsy.
I was thinking that even so, it seems to me that this poem is like something that goes after something else about all the horrible things that someone has in their recent memory, or something. Even with all the pain in the world, I still got what I wanted.
Even so.
Yeah.
Even so.
It's beautiful.
Despite what we haven't got.
Despite what we haven't got, even so, I got to call myself beloved.
Yeah.
This to me was like two people talking, not just one.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Dialogue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ron, would you read yours?
Oh. Okay. My life is filled with desires. that fills my heart and inspires. I know my kindness to others creates the love that I feel.
I know the kindness to others creates the love that I feel.
Ah.
Beautiful.
It is.
It's crowded.
So if you've never stayed after this first public hour and joined the poetry room, we have some poet laureates, and I highly recommend showing up to that room. And if you're on YouTube and watching this afterwards, here's a incentive to join us in the Zoom live group. Is you can join afterwards. We have the poetry room that will be happening.
And lots of other rooms
And
too.
lots of other rooms. I'll make that announcement right now. We also have a Sharon care room. We're get together. We have opened up a politics room, which has two purposes to it. One is if you want to discuss politics, and the other is to remind you that the poetry room is not the politics room.
Yeah.
I might have been a little too subtle about that the last 2 weeks, so sharpen the point on that one a little bit there.
Well, the poetry room is not the politics.
The poetry room is not the politics room.
There you go.
Speaking of which, and we'll get there in about 15 minutes. I would love to ask if there's a volunteer of somebody who wants to be the moderator, facilitator, the minister of for the politics room. We don't have a volunteer for that, and I think I do.
I have a political science major.
Me too. I got a master's in it.
Yeah.
You win.
Well,
oh, thank you.
Anyone who wants that is welcome to it. Meg, are you going to be running the deep dive group?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
And Ron, you will run the poetry room as usual.
We're a collective group.
Okay. All pigs are equal, except some are more equal than others.
Depends on how you wag your tail.
Sounds kind of Orwellian.
Yeah.
It feels if I were in the politics room, that's what I would be talking about. Let me make a quick two announcements. One, this announcement, as always, it's okay to not feel okay. It's okay not to be okay. Folks, this is a hard time. And I've heard people say to me, they say, Rabbi, you keep saying it's a hard time. I do.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Wonderful.
It is at various levels of hard time. Right now, it is a particularly... It's not an acute... You know how you can get a headache and sometimes it's like a sharp pain and sometimes like it's a dull headache? The hard times that we're having right now, this one feels to me like a sharp, dull headache.
It's not a migraine. That would be worse.
Correct.
If you haven't had migraines, good.
Two other announcements. One, just to keep you guys all up to speed on the book. The book is in the progress of getting copy edited, which is just having a professional go through every single line and finding out, boy, I sure made a lot more grammatical mistakes than I thought I did. And also, I'm seeking permissions right now. That's the status of the book right now. Is I have to get permissions from all the different authors who I quote, or song lyrics that are quoted need to be put into the book with permission. And so I'm doing that, which was how I got in touch with Robert Brault, which I thought was really cool. And here's a little promo. Rabbi Brian's Highly Unorthodox Gospel, working on all the it's going to be really fun. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get this into your hands. I'm looking at March 15th as a publication date, but if you remember when we had the book launch party in November, when do we have it? In July, we had a book launch party.
It's November now.
Yeah. I just made up that was when the book launch party was because I needed some date to arbitrarily attach my hopes to. So March 15th is my hopeful date. We'll see. I don't know. It's not up to me. Other announcements from James. Oh, I got a beautiful letter from James, and I'm going to read to you from it. He wrote to me on the back of a paper that went to the corrections officer, and I just wanted you to get a sense of what our friend James is doing. Here's his debrief. I sell candy bars, not drugs. You can put in the backstory and figure out why he's having to write this. I sell candy bars, not drugs. Review all my canteens and packages. You will see them full of candy and pastry items. I've contributed to inmates' poor health and tooth decay. I do grassroots work that brings me in contact with all sorts of people, possibly drug dealers, drug users, etc. I enjoy fishing in the swamp. I chose the hard job. By the way, someone fished me out of the swamps. As a leader, I try to be in the life of the people that I am mentoring or helping, so maybe I'm guilty by association, right? I admit, all of my friends in prisons are or were bad people, but in the famous words of Jesus, only the sick need a doctor. I roll with the sick. I doctor as we go. Some take the medicine, others cheek it. I will admit that I cheat sometimes, wrapping medicine inside candy. These are beautiful words from a man who is trying to do the most good in the worst of situations. There is going into the chat right now. Alex, if you would put the link in.
I have.
A GoFundMe was started. GoFundMe was started so he can run 3 different cultural events in the holiday season. Would love if you can help us out. There's a $480 goal. We are $330 from that goal. I'd love to be able to tell James, hey, we've sponsored you. We can buy all the burritos you need to get all the brothers to show up so that you can foster more community. What he is doing is an amazing thing. He is bringing community and learning and education inside Pelican State Penitentiary. So I would love us to be able to support him. Thank you for putting the link. I will also put, if you can't figure out to do a GoFundMe, just give money to Religion Outside the Box, and I will forward it straight along. Go ahead, Ron.
Would you please post that letter on the Clubhouse?
Yes. I will post that whole letter on the Clubhouse. I never thought about doing that. Yeah, I will post the whole letter. It is, that's from October 11th. I'll do that. If you haven't been showing up to the Clubhouse, if you go to rotb.org and go to the Clubhouse link, you can join us. And there's some good and welfare and some gratitude lists that are there, and I'd love to encourage more people to be there. And there are very few bots and spam accounts, and I thank my friend Ann for helping me on Thursday to remove 190 not real accounts. It's such a
wow.
It's the things you never think of, like what's behind the wall is the studs and the electricity and the pipes and all the things behind the wall you don't have to pay any attention to. Ann gets to pay attention to that. And I thank you, Ann, for keeping this house up. Okay, that was a lot of metaphors at once. And
what?
Ruth has a hand up.
I just want to put in a word for James. For those of you who don't know him, I would encourage you to write to him. Rabbi, I will give you his address. He really loves getting mail and appreciates the support that he's getting from our group.
Yeah. Thank you, Ruth, for saying. James is the only member of Religion Outside the Box who does not have internet access. My dear friend Robin prints out every article and everything that gets emailed to you. She prints up and sends to James, so he's keeping up with all of it as well.
Can you say something about cautioning about what things you can send?
Oh yeah, don't send any knives.
Bombs?
Yeah.
Plastic?
No. So here's the thing. It's in the rules are. We learn the rules as they come. There's one. Were you to send an envelope like this, it would get rejected. See that little metal thing? That has to get taken off. Don't send anything with glitter, anything with glue. If you're new writing to James, just use like a yellow piece of paper and a pen and write a letter, and that will get to him, and you can ask him for more details. But it's got to look as yeah, musical.
Boring.
Like, you know those cards that have musical pieces in them and they start singing happy birthday? Like, no, don't send that. Send regular stamps. That would work.
But not too many, Rabbi.
But don't send too many. And if you
Never
can send him 10 blank pieces of paper only, because over that you're starting to mess with the canteen's domain and their ability to sell paper. It's boy, does it make you realize how lucky and blessed.
Well, and there's some things that separately make it through, but together won't. For example, if you send a blank envelope, it has to be the kind that you lick, not the ones that have the little peely strips. But if you put a stamp on the envelope, it won't go through. But you can include, I think up to, one of the little, the standard post office strips of stamps, like these guys right here. You can include one of these, and sometimes I've had two go through. But if you peel the stamp off and stick it on the envelope, it doesn't work.
You can on the outside of the one that's being canceled.
Yeah, on the one that you send to him, you can, but if you send him a blank one for him to use, your better bet is to buy the pre-stamped envelopes from the post office that have the lick'em glue on it. We've figured that out over the years. I've been writing to James since forever.
I write down the number of stamps that I've included in the envelope in case somebody decides they want to help themselves. And you personally cannot send a book.
Correct.
It comes from Amazon or somebody. Why that is, I can't.
And then don't send him books. He's limited to the number of books he's allowed to get. So please ask him before you do that.
Can we put all these rules in a list in the clubhouse? Put them all in one place?
I would love to do that.
One problem of the rules is that they are a little bit arbitrary. Like, I've sent him things that were absolutely permitted, absolutely allowed, absolutely within code, and he's never gotten them.
My feeling on all of this is it depends on how ornery James has been.
Well, or how ornery the guards are about James.
Yeah.
It's a lot of factors. Let me move to Maria. Maria, hi. There's a bunch of people in this world for whom we would like to add some light and love. Can you lead us through that list, please?
I can. These are the names to whom we are sending light and love: Greg, Eric N., Margaret G., Galena S. and her family, Rob B., Sheridan H., Randall M., the Kennedy family, John Nielsen, Lois Lopez, an anonymous sad person, Rita and Bob, Robin's relatives in Israel, Sally B., and Sean and Bill. If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Let's take a minute at a time, starting about now. Thank you for that minute. In the few minutes that remain, we have time for a few of these, and I always love it. Is what are you taking with you? What's the bumper sticker moral? Somebody says, "Hey, you went to Rabbi Brian's spiritual religious service this morning." I doubt they're going to say that, but in case they do, and they say, "What did you learn? What are you taking with you? What are you taking with you today?" And I'll hold it on myself. I meant to at the very start say, please make sure to have a piece of paper with you so that you can make notes. But we'll see what we got. Ruth, what are you taking with you today? Ruth, your hand's up, my friend. Go ahead.
It is be kind.
Yeah.
Amen. Can I get an amen from the group?
Amen.
Amen.
Jack, what do you got?
My bumper sticker would read, "Don't follow me, follow yourself."
Oh, I want that bumper sticker. I love that. Go ahead, Michael.
Truth is fuzzy.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that goes on the back of the other car.
I love that. Truth is fuzzy.
I don't know if I can find it in time.
Fuzzy.
I posted it to my face. Here it is. Let's see if I can get that to show up for you. Oh boy, hold on. This was somebody in front of me at John F. Kennedy Airport, and their sweatshirt said, "Dear person behind me, the world is a better place with you in it. Lots of love, the person in front of you."
Oh. Wow.
That's sweet.
Hurry.
Say that again.
It said, "Dear person behind me." I'm working on it. It said, "Dear person behind me, the world is a better place with you in it." Sorry, the image is not coming up. Oh, here. There it goes. "Dear person behind me, the world is a better place with you in it. Lots of love, this person in front of you."
Oof.
It's a really good one.
That's really.
I'll add to it. Oh, I'm losing my... I'm losing control over my...
Post it in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
lovely.
am stuck on this screen, folks. So let me see if I can get to the wave goodbye screen. I cannot get to the wave goodbye screen. Something has gone wickedly wrong on my computer. I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to leave all of you in charge. I'm blowing kisses. You can't see it, but I'm blowing kisses to you, and I will see you next. There we are, and we'll see you next week. Alex,
see you next week.
You'll take us from here.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and open up the rooms. Let's see. Some of our usual